to build some backgrounds for some cards, so I thought I'd show you a couple of fun things you can do. I have a Cricut and a silhouette, and I like to make my own stencils rather than having to purchase stencils. Now, don't get me wrong, of course I have bought stencils, but rather than spending all my money on stencils, and I already have a Cricut, I make a lot of my own. So I cut this really cool doily shape on my Cricut, and I ran it through my Xyron 900 repositionable adhesive. This back sheet is covered with adhesive, and then there's a top clear sheet, and it sandwiches your paper in between. But in order to remove the glue that you're not leaving behind on this, it needs to make contact with this clear sheet. So I like to take a eraser or my finger or even a creasing tool and just go inside there, because I want as much of that glue to release as possible. Otherwise I have to clean it out. Okay, I have gone over this pretty well, I hope. So I'm going to peel off the adhesive top sheet. And as you can see, it's picked up all the glue that isn't behind my design. And while there might be a few spots that right in next that I haven't gotten, I can just peel those out with my fingertips to get rid of them. And then I come in with my glue eraser and pick them up. Or you can pick them up with a piece of paper, whatever you like. Now, I will keep this backing sheet to store my stencil on for as long as it's going to survive. Now, this one is probably not going to live long after today because I intend on getting a bit messy, but we shall see. I've said before on videos, I keep my old makeup cleaning cloths when I'm just using them to wipe my face, not actually removing makeup, because they're just the same as a Swiffer cloth. They are great for picking up the glue, and then it can go in the garbage. But at least I get more use out of this cloth than just wiping my face before bed. The first one I want to show you is using chalk. The other thing is I'm only going to be, as you can see, using about half the stencil. I want to only put half of it on because I can get further use out of it. I can use the other half of the stencil for other things. So I'm just going to pick this up and I'm going to give it a little slice. I'm not looking to be perfect here. So first thing I'm going to do is chalk. Do you remember all of these? You might have many of them in your drawers. I have this set from Stampin' Up called the Stampin' Pastels. And I've got some individual ones. I also have this one by Pearls Ink that has shimmery colors. Now, in order to use chalk, I'm using my Versamark pad, and I am going to put some ink on using my dauber here. Whoop. And I want to put ink on in every open spot. Now, you have to kind of use a methodical application because, of course, there is no color to embossing ink. it's going to be hard to tell where didn't I get. So I want to try and make sure that I'm methodically doing section by section. I absolutely love working on this glass mat. It was one of the best investments I feel I ever made because I can ink and splatter and emboss and do all the fun things on this mat. Then I just wipe it up and away I go on to my next project. So I love it. I love it. I think it's absolute best. Now, I also could have gone this way, but I feel like I can get into the little spots better if I use my little dauber. But if you don't have a dauber, by all means, go that way. Not an issue. Okay, I'm gonna have to just trust I got it. And now I'm going to remove my mask, my homemade stencil. And you can actually see there where the embossing ink is. I'm just going to put my stencil onto my backing sheet. I think I would like to use the shimmery ink. And I really like this kind of robin's egg blue here. So I'm going to start with that. Now you don't have to only use one color. If you want to do more, you certainly can. This chalk set has a dark and a light, so I'm going to use this lighter one randomly around, and then I'm going to switch to the darker one. I've got some pretty nice coloring there. I'm going to pick up a new puff ball, and I'm going to go with the darker color now. So I'm going to rub the darker over the entire card now. It's going to pick up everywhere that the light didn't. You know, you're probably thinking, well, why did you go blue on top of blue? And the fact is I am wanting to make a subtle background as opposed to something really bold, because I've done some stamping and cutting out of some creatures that are going to be on the front of this card, and I don't want to detract from them too much. I'm going to take this cloth and just buffer that off. The chalk should only stick where I had Versamark. There's one background. And because that has a pearl in it, it's quite shimmery and shiny. So again, I'm going to put my mask on. Now with Perfect Pearls, the best product to use is Perfect Medium. It's formulated a little bit different. I am going to use my cool color box tool. It's much stickier, in my opinion. And so I've got a super saturated pad here. Again, I'm just going to drop it into the holes. Now, if I put a note on this stencil that this was used for, embossing ink, perfect medium, I can keep it for that. Because as you can see, my stencil is holding up incredibly well to all of the product being mushed through it. And just like Versamark, can't really tell where you've put it, so you just try and work in a grid pattern so that you ensure that you got all of the areas you want. All right, I think that's got it. Now for Perfect Pearls, today I am using Jubilee Blue and I'm using turquoise. So once again, I'm going to pull my stencil off. I actually see I didn't get enough there. So that's a great thing. I can lay it back down, put more stuff in. All right. The Perfect Pearls comes with a couple of brushes. And again, I want to try and do the coloring in sections. I think I might bring in Blue Sparkle too. True Blue Sparkle is a mid of those. So I think I'm going to do that. And it does not take a lot of the powder to cover an area. Okay, I think that's pretty good of that one. And I'm going to bring in the mid one. I'm just going to tap my brush off. Now this one actually has a sparkle in it. Perfect Pearls is a very versatile medium. You can apply it just like this. You can add water and paint with it. There is so many different things. I will mix up a bottle, mostly alcohol, a little bit of distilled water, and a scoop of this, and you've got a beautiful mist that you can spray on top of a card. You can also put it inside a used up Wink of Stella pen. That same mixture, mostly alcohol, and I like to use 90% so it dissipates very fast, dries very fast. And these pots will last you years and years. Like I can't even tell you how long I've had these. It's been so long. All right. And now I'm going to use the Jubilee Blue. This is a more of a muted tone. Again, I'm just tapping off my brush. And I'm going to fill in the rest of the spots with this darker blue. And now that I'm putting on the last color, I can pull up the excess powder and move it along because I couldn't do that before. I didn't want to pull in too much of one color or the other, but my other colors are down already, so I don't have to worry about it. I think I'm going to bring back just a smidge of this color because I didn't get a lot of it right there. Okay, and I'm just swishing along here to make sure I got every little spot. Okay, all done. Let me just cap these up so that this powder is very fine. You have to make sure the lid's on really tight or it will be all over the place. Now, the reason for the thicker brush is to brush off the excess powder. If that was the only color I used, I could brush it right back into the bottle, but since I did a mix of colors, I need to, I don't want to contaminate one color with another. And such a beautiful result. You see all the different blues there? Now, the biggest question I get about Perfect Pearls is, how do you get it to stay on the card and not on your hands? Very simply. You're going to mist it with simple water. I always use distilled water because it has all of the macro, micro organisms are gone from it, so it's not going to mold or create a problem. So you're just going to give it a little spritz like that, let it dry, end of story. It has its own system in it that will now make that, glue that to the card. So I'm just going to let that dry, and then we'll put together a card with it. By the way, a little trick here. I lay my wet cards on top of the plastic sheet from my Altenew sticky sheet. I put inside my Sizzix stamp platform. I lay my card on there and I close it up. That card's going to dry perfectly flat. So I don't ever worry about sticking water on there because this is going to make sure it dries flat. I will put my stencil on again. And as you can see, I can use it a ton. It's still super nice and sticky. Now I'm going to do some distress spray. I'm using my Oxide, let's see, Mermaid Lagoon. So I'm going to lay it in there. All right. I hope that is the correct amount of mixing. Here we go. That looks pretty good. Now I like to daub up. Let's see where we're at. Oh, beautiful. I love it. It's gorgeous. Again, I'm going to lay that inside my stamp platform so it'll be completely flat when it's dried. I love how that worked out. And my stamp, or my stencil, is completely usable some more. So in fact, I'm going to do that again. All right, stuck down. Give it another shake. Okay, this time I'm actually going to not daub. I want to see if the splatters stand out more when they're not daubed. Now I have one more background ready to do something fun with, so I'm going to put my stencil down one more time. Only this time I'm going to apply distress ink right through my guy. So I have Salvage Patina in Oxide here. the ink. This is dry on here now. Wow, that is beautiful. I haven't used that color yet. I just got it. And again, I'm just going to try to apply some in various areas. It's a little bit harder to do that when you have a giant dauber, but I'm going to do my best. Now, I am going to attempt to use Salty Ocean. My only concern with Salty Ocean is I'm putting it over an oxide, which has basically a white paint mixed with it. And so I'm pretty confident that that white is going to contaminate this felt. So this is pretty old. It needs to be replaced. So I'm just going to go ahead and let's see what happens. I'm going to load this up as best as I can because I don't want to contaminate my pad. So I'm going to see if I end up picking anything up. Actually, it's not bad at all. Whoop. That was funny. Okay, so this is Salty Ocean now. And I'm going to try and put it everywhere that I didn't put the patina. And so far I've not got any contamination between the two inks. So that's good. Now, I know I said I didn't want to go really bold because I did some die cuts for the front. And I think I totally missed the mark because this looks pretty bold. But I think it's going to be amazing, so that's okay. Well, so far, it looks pretty good. One other thing I was thinking I'd like to do, because I do like a little bit of shimmer, was to put some Wink of Stella. I'm just going to splatter it on there. So I've got the gold clear Wink of Stella here. And I'm going to squeeze some out onto my clear block here. And then I'm just going to spill it off the side to create some splatters. Oh, I got a big spot there. All right, I'm going to give that just a minute to dry. These ones are the sprayed with the Distress Spray. These ones. This is the one I didn't blot, and it does have much bigger spots. So I'm going to do the same thing just to give them a little sparkle. I'll just squeeze a little bit out here. Splatter that off. Just got to have a little bit of sparkle on my cards. This one was our chalk, and it's got a lot of shine to it, so I'm not going to do anything more to that one. Okay, let me just pick these up and move them out here. And this is the Perfect Pearl, which again has a lot of shimmer and shine, so I don't think it needs any splatter. All right, let's reveal this one that I did with the patina, salvage patina, and the Salty Ocean. Let's just pull this back. Oh, I think it turned out so good. I'm so happy with that. Don't stress about that. It's just a little bit of glue from the back of your mask, not the card. There we go. And this guy is still in good enough shape that I could use him on many more projects, as you can see. Okay, so let's go over those again. So this is Salvage Patina and Salty Ocean put on with Dauber through our mask. This one was sprayed leaving chunks with the Distress Oxide Mermaid Lagoon. I'm going to just zoom out here, guys, so you can see all the product. This one was done the same way, but dotted off, dabbed, so you don't have the big chunky looking spots. It's a little bit smoother. So those are both with that one. This one is our beautiful Perfect Pearls. Just to help you remember, I'll put the Perfect Pearl out here. This one was True Blue Sparkle. The lightest was Turquoise. And the dark was Jubilee. So that's that. And this was chalk. And the chalk was done with the pebbles incorporated. The blue right in the center, the light and dark option. So I think they all turned out beautifully. I'm very happy with them all. I think that the day experimenting with backgrounds was a great success. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me today. Oh, and by the way, wouldn't that look great? Permanently glued down to a card for a background? You certainly can. Just replace or add permanent glue on the back and put it on your card. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at melittasmakin@gmail.com. You can make a post right below this video on YouTube. My channel is Melittasmakin. And you can also see me over on my blog, which is melittasmakin.blogspot.com. Have an incredibly crafty day, everyone. Thanks for swinging by.